and welcome to the Reparenting Daily podcast. In this podcast, we'll dive deep into reparenting, exploring all of the tools and resources that you'll need to help you along your journey. This podcast is divided into 3 sections. First is a daily reading, second is a discussion on the reading followed by journal prompts, and the last section is a peaceful meditation for closing. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from whenever and wherever you're joining us. Thanks for being here for another day of Reparenting Daily. For all those joining in for the first time, if you can go ahead and give us a like, share, subscribe, it would really help us to get some more engagement and to get some 5-star reviews on Apple and Spotify podcast, so we can go ahead and keep the word spreading about this podcast and hopefully continue to reach and help as many people as possible along their reparenting journey. That's one way to support the podcast, of course. Another announcement is that we also have a Patreon community where we meet 3 times a week on Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Sunday is a group meditation, Tuesday is a book club meeting, and Thursday is an open topic discussion where we communicate. You can gain access to these group meetings and so much more by joining the Patreon community. Just go to the website, Reparenting Daily, and check out the community tab. There you'll find all the details about what's actually offered. We also have a WhatsApp group and much more to look forward to that will really help you along with your healing journey. And for the last announcement, I'd like to say that we are just releasing our first 2 books now at Reparenting Daily. So you can go to the website, check out the bookstore tab, and at the top, you will see our first 2 official Reparenting Daily books. So I'm so excited to tell you about those, guys. So the first is Reparenting Daily Journal. This is a daily journal that corresponds to the podcast and will be aligned with all of the episodes starting from the 1st of January. That means that each month has a certain theme, and each week is a sub-theme that corresponds to the theme of the month. So if you're really interested in following along with this project, we're going to be stepping things up. Now we're almost half or just over half the way through the year now. So for the second year of the podcast, we're going to be taking it up to a different level, doing some different things to make it more actually interactive and engaging. So I'm really looking forward to that. You can find that on Amazon also if you just search Reparenting Daily Journal. And the second book is a really interesting one that's close to my heart. I've always been a writer since I was younger, and I like to write stories. I also enjoy research and writing research papers. I just really enjoy writing, and so I've created a book which is called Fairy Tales for Reparenting. And these are a collection of stories, and basically this is volume 1. I'm going to make other volumes as well, but they're a collection of fairy tales that are based on stories that can provide hope and inspiration, encouragement. It's really meant as a way to help you be able to connect with your inner child. So it's a really creative exercise, really for myself to think through these, to have some fun with my imagination. But also reading them is really a good way to connect to your inner child, to get to some of those tender emotions, to do something a bit silly or childlike, You can sit there and, take your teddy bear, if you have one, from the practices that some people say when you're reparenting your inner child. This is something that you can also do to support that journey. It's fun. There are happy stories that will just leave you hopeful and inspired. So let me know what you think of those. You can find both of those on the website, and also check out the Amazon store. They are available on ebook as well as hardback and paperback. And the version volume 2 will be dropping sometime soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be in December or either January, but I'll be sure to let you know. Just working on some final edits there, but hopefully to have that around the corner. So without further ado, let's get started on the daily. Today's reading is from the ACA meditation, and it's called Accepting Ourselves. As we sit and think about our shortcomings, we do not judge ourselves. Big Red Book, page 215. As children, we often had to endure verbal attacks that, as adults, made us vulnerable to even the slightest criticism. Even in ACA, it was difficult for some of us to hear that we had defects of character because we interpreted that as being defective, which felt shaming. Because we knew these were our core issues and that the program couldn't help us, We might have found other words that made us feel more comfortable, such as character defenses, step 1 issues, spirit blockers, or simply shortcomings. No matter what we call them, it is essential that we look at them in the proper light and accept them as part of who we learn to be. We also become aware that they are the very things that come between us and our higher power. They affect how we feel about ourselves and how we relate to other people. In becoming willing to work the steps, we gradually come out of the isolation we've used to protect ourselves. We begin to acknowledge our strengths, one of which is our ability to intuitively know that the tools of ACA are giving us a better life. We're learning balance. On this day, I choose to face my shortcomings without judging myself harshly. I accept all parts of me. Thank you, and that's the reading for today. This reading highlights the importance of self-acceptance in the reparenting process. As adult children of dysfunctional families, we often carry a deep fear of criticism and judgment, rooted in past verbal attacks. Reparenting involves reframing how we view our perceived flaws, understanding them not as evidence of being defective, but as a protective mechanism or spirit blockers that once served us. By practicing compassion and using the tools in reparenting, we can begin to accept all parts of us without harsh judgment. This self-acceptance is key to building a loving and balanced relationship with our inner child and moving closer to our authentic selves and our chosen higher power. As we consider some journal prompts for today, number 1, reframing your shortcomings. Think of a shortcoming or a trait that you've been critical in yourself. How might this trait have been a form of protection or survival in your childhood? How can you reframe it with compassion today? Number 2, self-acceptance practice. Write a letter to your inner child. Acknowledge their strength and gently reassure them that their perceived flaws are not defects, but part of who they are. What loving words can you use to help them feel safe and accepted? And number 3, connecting with strengths. Reflect on what strength you've discovered in yourself through the reparenting process. How can you nurture and celebrate the strength in your daily life? How does it help you feel more connected to your higher power or your authentic self? That's it. Thanks for being here. As always, take care of yourself and be well. And now, let us move on to the final section, the meditation. This is an unguided meditation. I will simply provide some music and you can take some time to relax. Please feel free to choose a location and a place where you feel safe and where you can be undisturbed for the next 10 minutes. You can choose to be sitting down, standing, as you like, wherever you are most comfortable. Thank you for being here and enjoy the meditation.